Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm gonna do this video in the rain. It just started pouring rain, and my daughter and I are actually working on a family project that we just got. What did we just buy? Well, friends, I hinted in the last video, we need a yard unit, something with a dump box and a bench seat so three of us can ride in it. So we've been looking at side-by-sides, and to be honest, friends, I've never looked at a side-by-side in my life. Every yard around here has one, or most people, and they just seem like a handy thing, but it was never within my grasp. And I always said, well, one day we're gonna get one of those when we can afford one. Well, friends, I still can't afford one, so I bought the cheapest side-by-side I could find on the internet, literally the cheapest, and made a deal and hauled it home. Here's what we bought. What we bought, friends, it is a 2015 Polaris Ranger XP 900 HO. And I don't know if it's a good one or not, but these get decent reviews from what I could see. They're pretty common around here. Darn near everybody has one. And this is the one that we got. Good, bad, or ugly. We're going to see if we can make something of this. I got it yesterday. I haven't even taken it off the trailer, friends, so. Here's the other side. So, the good, well, it's a 2009 or 2015. It came with these rims and tires, 28 by 10 STI like mud tires with these fancy gangster rims. Because, I mean, when you pull up in town, you want people to know how you roll. It's got a winch on it, dump box. It does have a roof. And I'll show you what else it came with. Spare bottom end from the motor. We're going to talk about that, friends. It's not all sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows with this deal. And 4 factory tires on rims. Center caps smashed out, but and these are, I think these are 27s. 27s. You guys get the idea though. So yeah, I got 4 tires and rims and a spare motor, or most of a spare motor with it. Okay, so I should probably take this out of the rain, eh? Sorry friends, it just started raining. I was planning on doing a full video on this, but I think I'll just shoot and put up what I got. Okay friends, so that's the good. This tire does not hold air. Other 3 do. They look brand spanking new. These rims pretty much look like they've never seen or very limited use. And everything seems to work on it. All the lights, everything. Dump bed opens nice. The bad, it's got some rash on it. Both side covers. The seat is quite knackered. The guy said something about the fella he bought it from. His dogs were going to town. I could buy a seat cover, and I'll figure it out, friends. I'll get some foam and glue some foam in there and put a new seat cover. No big deal. It does have the factory roof on it, but no windshield, no back, no doors. Is what it is. Okay. Yeah, it's got a few scuffs, but I mean, it's nice. It's black and white. It's a nice machine. The interior is pretty clean other than the seat. The dash is shiny. This thing does not look like it's been parked outside much. I don't know, friends. I don't know nothing about these things, but now I own one. Okay? So the question is, why did I buy this cheap? Friends, I bought this thing so cheap. I have no qualms about this. There's no risk involved. It's just going to be 100% fun. Also notice underneath, this thing is clean. There's no mud on it. Everything's clean. Belt cover's shiny, which kind of leads us into how I got this thing. Let's open this up. So, notice the motor's shiny. So I saw an ad for this thing, friends, a couple times. The guy wanted a decent amount of money for it at the beginning, and then he just kept lowering his price. And it was at a price point that I decided, you know what, I'm going to go look at this thing and talk to this feller. Nice feller. I hung out with him in his shop for about half an hour, 45 minutes, just talking to him. So he bought this from the original owner, and the timing chain has slipped. These have a problem, or they did have a problem. They updated it. These had a problem with a bad timing chain tensioner. He was a guy who does dirt bikes and quads, builds motors, so he bought this thing as a project, and bought this 2017 motor. That's what's in here. So that's the updated 900 XP motor. He bought that and decided, when he pulled the motor out of here, the bottom end that I have, he decided that this was the better motor. He said the bottom end of this thing was mint. So he transferred all the parts from the 15 onto the 17. He did new pistons, rings, timing chain, tensioner, followers, all that stuff, and put this thing back together. And then that's when his problems started. So he said when he put this thing together, he could not get it to run. It did not fire. It fired, but it doesn't run well. Now, I'm not going to fire it up today, friends, because it's partially disassembled, as you can see. Some of the motor's missing. But the problems he was mentioning is backfiring and poor running. Generally poor starting, either not firing, or it'll fire up. It sounds like it's running lean to me. It smells rich though, and just general issues. So I got this thing home, friends. I made a deal with him. He just wanted to get rid of it. It was taking up room in his shop, and he said, I just want to get rid of this thing. So I made him an offer, and he actually took it. So I figured if he doesn't take it, no skin off my butt. I don't really need this thing, but it will be a help around the yard here. So anyways, friends, I brought this thing home last night. You can see I've been in and out of it. I brought this thing home last night and proceeded to pull codes. And the code I got was 636-2. And that is a crank sensor code. Well, that's the crank sensor. Well, when I went under the hood here, friends, this fella had been in here, and he told me all of this, okay? Well, he tried to rig up a new crank trigger wire, and he ran it to the computer. Well, I didn't really like the looks of this wire. I don't know what this is. It kind of looks, I don't know, friends. So I tested my signal wires from the computer. They're both 2.5 volts, which is what you're supposed to have. And there's a shielded wire in there. That one's supposed to go to ground, and that one's grounded. This end, 2.5 volts. I checked my crank position sensor. It ohms out at 950 ohms. That's proper. I also, friends, if you're working on something and you think you have a crank position sensor issue, does your tack work? Well, the tack works on this thing. But I noticed when I fire it up, if I give it throttle, it will run away, and I need to just shut it off. Well, a runaway motor, if it's not a diesel, generally has an air leak, like a chainsaw, friends. So last night, this spark plug boot is non-existent, and it broke. That reminds me, friends, I gotta get underneath here. See that clip, that green thing? That is, let's see if I can get it. That is for the fuel injection rail for the fuel line. Oh, there we go. Nice. Beauty. I'll just put that right there for now. So yeah, friends, so I fixed that and thought, oh, maybe it'll run. Well, it won't run. I've cleared the codes, and it just keeps doing its thing. Poor starting, won't idle, doesn't take throttle well. So anyhow, friends, did a little reading and just studying today, and otherwise, this thing's pretty clean. Most of the wiring looks like it's intact. It doesn't look like it's really been messed with. Well, I noticed something when this fella was showing me this. So I'm just going to leave that right there. This is not an air box. Your air box is there, and it goes to here, and then the intake, the throttle body, bolts to here, and these two go to each cylinder, right? And then your fuel injectors are here, and your fuel rail, and well, he said that he took this to the dealer. The fuel pressure was low. It was under, I think he said under 40 pounds. So he put a new fuel pump on this thing. So this thing has 60 PSI of fuel pressure, which is what it's supposed to have. So it's not that. Crank sensor's new. So the dealer scanned it and they said possibly he has a wiring issue. Okay. Well, I don't know, friends, but he said he's never had this thing running. Well, would you look at that? I noticed this when I was looking at this thing. This is the intake plenum for this thing. I noticed all this welding. In fact, when we were loading this thing up, I was grabbing something under the hood and I actually cut my finger. Well, there's all these little wires. Somebody spent a lot of time trying to save this. You can see it's cracked here. Basically, the top broke off of this. And they tried to plasti weld it. Well, friends, I took this thing off tonight. 10-minute job. Pulled the fuel rail and all that stuff. And I actually plugged the ends and I just put a blowgun in there and I put a little air pressure with some hot soapy water. And well, guess what? This thing's leaking like a sieve. Everywhere that he's fixed. I think it's even leaking up here too. Okay. This whole area is leaking air like crazy. Well, so I'm thinking, friends, and I'm not saying that that's going to be the problem. My crank sensor checks out. I was working on it for a couple hours last night, and I couldn't find anything wrong with either the circuitry, the sensor, or anything to do with it. But this, friends, this thing's sucking air through this whole thing. So, which could, I was doing some reading, it could cause my 636-2 code. That's kind of a catch-all. It is a crank sensor code, but it's kind of a catch-all code from what I'm reading. And again, I'm not an expert. I've never touched one of these till yesterday. So anyhow, friends, I ordered a new one of these. It'll be in like on Wednesday, and we'll go from there. Massive intake leak. There's no way that this thing should start and run. And I'm hoping that's the problem, because if it is, then we'll start digging into the chassis. That rear wheel bearing was loose. I noticed that. And it needs a couple of drive axles on the front. And that tire needs a tube. But other than that, everything seems to work. Four-wheel drive. The switch works anyways. But I think we'll make something of this. So there you guys go. The cheapest, literally, friends, the cheapest side-by-side on the internet. I bought it. And it's a nice one. Anyhow, friends, thanks for watching. Take her easy, and I'll keep you updated on this thing. I'm going to play with it a little bit here and there. I have other work to do around here. This is just kind of a little bit of a side deal. But I don't know. I don't know anything about these things. If you've ever worked on one and you think maybe I'm going down the wrong path. But hopefully that works. Air intakes cannot have giant cracks in them from what I've known about engines my whole life. But anyhow, thanks for watching. Take her easy. I'm going to go inside because I am soaking wet. Later.